The Clams on Prozac experiment. It started with a simple question. Can antidepressants make clams happier? A team led by Dr. Peter Fong at Gettysburg College wanted to see if Prozac, when flushed into waterways, affects marine life. They exposed freshwater clams and mussels to tiny amounts of the drug and watched what happened. The result? The clams didn't exactly smile, but their mood changed. They opened and closed their shells differently, showing changes in metabolism and serotonin activity. The study won the 2005 Ig Nobel Prize in Biology for its absurdity. But the deeper message was serious. Humans are dumping so many pharmaceuticals into rivers that even shellfish are on antidepressants. Funny? Absolutely. Important? Also yes. Because this ridiculous question uncovered a real environmental problem. PawSense, software that detects cats on your keyboard. Ever had your cat walk across your keyboard and send nonsense to your boss? One man actually solved that. American software engineer Chris Niswander built a program called PawSense that can tell when a cat, not a human, is typing. The software listens for random key patterns, weird rhythms, and instantly freezes the computer before the feline chaos spreads. It won the 2000 Ig Nobel Prize in Computer Science, and yes, it's 100% real. What started as a joke became a study of pattern recognition, the same concept used in cybersecurity and AI today. Moral of the story? Never underestimate a programmer with a cat problem. The man who lived as a goat. British designer Thomas Thwaite won the 2016 Ig Nobel Prize in Biology after building a goat suit, complete with prosthetic legs and an artificial stomach, so he could live like a goat for several days in the Swiss Alps. He literally grazed on grass, walked on all fours, and joined a herd of goats. Why? To understand what life feels like without human anxiety. The experiment sounds absurd, but it was a real exploration of empathy, adaptation, and the limits of human experience. It makes you wonder, are humans really smarter or just more stressed? He even wrote a book, Goat Man: How I Took a Holiday from Being Human. One reviewer said, "He's not crazy, he's committed."
Why white horses attract fewer flies. In Hungary, scientists led by Dr. Suzanne Okeson and her team painted horses different colors to see which ones attracted fewer horseflies. The result? White-haired horses suffered far fewer bites than dark ones. Why? Because the light color messes with the fly's polarized vision. They literally can't lock on to the target. This hilarious experiment earned the 2019 Ig Nobel Prize in Physics, yes, physics, for showing how light polarization affects living creatures. Painting horses for science might sound ridiculous, but it helps design fly-repellent patterns for livestock and even human clothing in tropical regions. Sometimes, the dumbest-sounding experiments solve problems farmers have faced for centuries. Slime molds that solve mazes. Picture this, a yellow blob with no brain and no nervous system, solving a puzzle faster than some humans. That's the slime mold Physarum polycephalum. Japanese researchers Toshiyuki Nakagaki, Ryo Kobayashi, and Atsushi Taro placed food at two ends of a maze and watched the slime mold find the shortest route. It was shocking, a single-celled organism demonstrating problem-solving, memory, and even optimization. They received the 2008 Ig Nobel Prize in Cognitive Science. It challenged our idea of what intelligence actually means. Maybe thinking doesn't always require a brain. Sometimes it just requires a very persistent blob. Cows painted like zebras. In Japan, a research team led by Professor Tomoki Kojima decided to test a strange idea. What if we paint cows with zebra stripes? They wanted to see if black and white patterns could reduce insect bites just like on real zebras. Turns out, it worked. Cows with stripes had around 50% fewer fly bites. The reason? The pattern confuses the fly's motion detection. They literally miss their landing. The study won the 2019 Ig Nobel Prize in Biology for showing that animal patterning can protect livestock.
It sounds absurd, but it could help farmers replace toxic pesticides with paint. So yes, painting cows like zebras may actually be the most eco-friendly invention of the decade. Dead spiders turned into robots. In 2022, engineers Faye Yap and Daniel Preston at Rice University made robotic grippers out of dead spiders. They discovered that a spider's legs naturally curl when it dies because of internal hydraulic pressure. So they reused that mechanism by injecting air, literally reanimating spider legs to pick up objects. The process was called necrobotics. Creepy? Definitely. Genius? Also yes. It earned them the 2022 Ig Nobel Prize in Mechanical Engineering for proving nature's design could be reused after death. Because the idea could lead to biodegradable robots and eco-friendly tools for delicate, tiny tasks. Science doesn't always look pretty, but it's always curious. Lizards addicted to pizza and electrified chopsticks. In 2023, scientists in Japan and New Zealand shared the spotlight for two bizarre but brilliant studies. One team, led by Professor Takuji Narumi, created electrified chopsticks that change how salty food tastes. By sending a tiny electric current through the utensil, they made low-sodium food taste just as flavorful. Meanwhile, another group, Takashi Nishimura and colleagues, discovered that certain urban lizards became addicted to pizza and other fatty human foods. Both studies received the 2023 Ig Nobel Prize in Nutrition and Chemistry, respectively. Both sound absurd, yet both raise serious questions about taste, diet, and adaptation. The chopsticks might help people reduce salt intake and stay healthy, while the lizards prove that fast food addiction isn't just a human problem anymore.